Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's rare for me to actually jump on a live stream on Friday, but earlier this week I was live and Rad Dad, actually, I'll tell you exactly how we got into this and why this is so important. Is you guys get on me because a lot of times I'll just drag a rung down and then I'll grab any instruction. And if I want to EQU, I'll just highlight the shape and type EQU and press enter. And Rad Dad asked me, have you checked out version 36 of Studio 5000? And my default response was, nah, I usually don't check out the latest and greatest. And he's like, well, you definitely need to check this one out because the instructions are changing. And I really thought he was pulling my chain when I first started. So a couple things before we do get going on this is remember that I don't actually work for Rockwell, so complaining about it in my comments or in the chat doesn't actually help. And I just want to put that out because my thumbnail apparently really kind of lit a fire under some of y'all. But it is something we're going to have to get used to. And I think this is a good change overall. So let's talk about what exactly is happening with version 36. So here is a version 32 program. You can see right up here, it says version 32. And we have our equals, really our compare instructions. And I kind of grouped them even. This isn't how they're listed in Rockwell, but we have compare instructions and we have our move instruction. And then I grouped this as our math instructions. I don't think these are as important because we don't see them that much. And then actually we have a few conversion instructions. I bet none of you even know what this stands for. Now, if I go over to the exact same thing in version 36, then they've changed some. We now have an EQ, which I still know is an equal instruction. We have an NE, not equal to. It's going to take a little time, but then we have a GT for a greater than, a GE for a greater than or equal to, an LE for less than, an LT for less than or equal to. Here, there you go. I've got to get used to these. But it got me thinking on a few things about how exactly this is going to affect us going back and forth. And so first, this is the release note that you definitely ought to view. And honestly, I almost never read the release notes, but in this case, it is well worth reading, mainly on page 11, or it starts a little bit above it, but the mnemonics are changing in here. And this is about how it does the automatic change, but here's the list of ones that in version 35, these right here were the mnemonics or the three letter things that we use. The one that jumps out to me is right here, the GEQ. And in version 36 and on, it's a GE. And let me see if it was it in this one, PLC open. It was right there on that page. Okay. And here's why they're doing this. And this is why I do feel overall that this is a good move. In this version of Logix Designer application, the mnemonics for these instructions have been updated to align with IEC 61131-3 and PLC Open standards. Mnemonics for specific instructions are automatically updated on the import and project conversion, and then they give the list of it. So this really brings Studio 5000 in line with the IEC 61131-3 standard. I know when I say that standard, a lot of you cringe and a lot of you start complaining, but it's here. We're going to have to get used to it, and this is one of the steps to getting used to it. Now let's talk about what this actually means for us in Studio, because Rockwell has done a really good job of at least forward conversions. Now, backward conversions are always a lot more difficult because, version 32 and, oops, that's connected. Version 32 and previous know nothing about these new ones. But if I go to version 35, and I'm just going to Control A to copy all those, and we're just going to delete it. Actually, yeah, I was playing with some other stuff. Let me go ahead and go out of that. This gets us right at the beginning. So I have a completely blank program. In fact, delete you. There we go. Now we're just like a brand new program. And I can go over here and I can grab my version 32 code. Right up here it says version 32. And I can Control A or right click select all. And then I'm going to copy wrong. And then I can go over here and paste. And I get a warning down here. Multiple mnemonics were updated. See online help for more information. Honestly, I hadn't checked out the online help, but I bet you they have a truth table in there that tells you the old and the new. In fact, we should do that. Let's just see what it does say, because we know now this is an equal. So let's right click and we're going to go to instruction help, and it just says EQ. All right, so I don't see where, let's just control F, EQU. Oops, oops, EQU. If I type it, it does show up. All right, so, oh no, EQU space. In Logix Designer version 36, the mnemonic was changed from EQU to EQ. So it's not really loud and saying it, but it's there. So where are we at exactly? We're near the top. So that'll give us some good information on it. All right. But then, I played with some other ways because sometimes we want to copy whole routines. And so if I right click the main routine and I copy it, and then I right click my main program and I paste it, then we're going to get, well, this time it gave us 5 warnings, but I'm pretty sure they're all the same. Yes. So they're all about the conversions of the mnemonics. And if we open it up, then everything is fine. So our forward conversion works great. And I like to say, it may take me a little bit. I can figure out EQ. Honestly, I kept thinking Nebraska on this. I just had a brain fart. I'm like, I know it's not a state name, but it'll take me a little while to figure out the not equal to, the greater than equal to. Oh, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand that one. LT. I don't know. Yeah, and here's where, let's just go back to the cheat sheet and make sure I'm following the right place. Um, yes. Oh, no. LE is less than equal. So I put them in the wrong order up here. That's why I can't follow it. So really, what did I do over here? Oh, yeah. Greater than equal to, less than equal to. I'm just going to drag that one over there for my own sanity. And then, and yeah, so it's going to take a little bit, but okay, we can figure this out. And then, a limit makes a lot more sense than a lim. We've got a lot of room. We can use more words. And so, yeah, a move instead of MOV. But also now the arc cosine, the sine, and the arctangent do make a lot more sense. The square root's about the same. The exponent, those are. But here, the 2BDC and the BDC2, those instructions are a lot clearer now than they used to be. So there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, but let's talk about going backwards, because well, actually, no, there was one other really big worry I had, was what happens to add-on instructions before version 36. So they do import fine, and in fact, let's see, I'm going to right-click add-on instructions, and we are going to import an add-on instruction, and let's just go find one. Well, we'll go to the PLC lab. Let's go to PLC lab training, and we'll go to the unfamiliar machine. And yes, here's a YRG instruction. And this is a source protected instruction, because that's the one that really, when I thought about it, was like, I'm not sure this is going to work. So I'm going to bring it in, and it's importing. And we get our normal prompt, and I click OK. And the biggest thing that I think everybody's going to have to deal with is I get 186 warnings because there were 186 mnemonics that needed changed in this. But it does import just fine, and I'm not going to do it in this video because it takes too much time, but we drag that in. Well, I'm just going to drag it there. And yeah, the instruction works. I created tags for all of them. It verified fine, and I think it would work fine, but I'll probably test it later. So import and AOIs are good. And the other one, though, that we need to talk about is going backwards. Okay, first, what I did throw it in the chat because I was kind of curious. What versions of Studio 5000 and probably RS Logix 5000 are you using? Right now, I'm running. Actually, still am running version. I'm running version 32 at the training center. So, like all our PLCs here are still version 32. So there hasn't been a lot of things to upgrade. And even now, I'm probably not going to upgrade to version 36 throughout it. but I probably am going to at least put one PLC on version 36 so we can talk about this one little bit because yeah, I think this is a big change. Let's see. The mnemonics are gonna take some getting used to. I've gotten very comfortable and fast using the insert menu and typing. You're right. I mean, I always like when I go to make real, like like real instructional video. It's like what you're watching isn't one. But when I go to use them, I mean, it takes a lot of effort for me to go, all right, which category is it? Because I drag anything down or I use the insert and I just type them. So that's going to take some time. Um, Now, the one thing about that, though, before we go on to going backwards, is let's go back into version 36. Is if I drag any old thing down and I type GRT, which is the old mnemonic. Oops, where am I at? Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong one. Yeah, that one would work fine. Here's our version 36. I got to remember to look up here. And in this one, if I drag any old instruction down and I type GRT, which is the wrong thing. Oh no, I thought it did work. Okay, I'm wrong. You can copy and paste them, but you can't type them in. So I guess the insert still isn't going to work. All right, that is a bummer there. But we can, in time, I think we can get used to these few. Good stuff. Bryson Work says, good stuff. Do you know, gosh, I gotta tell you, I'm so tired of this emoji thing button that YouTube has put in the chat. Like I can't read the end of Bryson's question until somebody else throws something in the chat. Because good stuff, Tim. Do you wildly I'm guessing you say no. I see do you K. Oh, thank you, Mary Bruce, for throwing something in. Do you know the reason behind the change? So yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Read the release notes. So IEC 61131-3, I think it is a standard for PLC programming that was developed, and I know a lot of us don't like it, but it's here. We just got to deal with it. So don't tell me that you hate the standard. So part of it is to get all brands kind of in line so that, instructions are more uniform. And, it's overall, it's going to be a good thing. There's going to be a little bit of learning curve here. I guarantee you Rockwell did not do this really. They probably are not excited about doing this because, yeah, they're going to get a lot of calls about what happened to the GRT instruction. But okay, let's talk about the backwards because this is where the problem comes in is I am going to, in fact, let me just make a new routine, add new routine. We're just going to call this from version 36. Oops, you do not want to see me do this in structured text, do you? So we will right click and we will delete that. And we'll pay attention this time. We're going to right click. Apparently I was doing structured text videos last on this. So this will be from version 36. And we are going to make this a ladder diagram. So we have a blank and we're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to take what is in this one. We're going to control A it, right click and copy. And now we'll go to the old program. I'll delete the one rung out. And we're going to paste it in. And you see, it does not backwards paste, which is an issue. And that's why this is very important. There's a tech note that was that recently came out. And let me refresh it just to see. Oh, cool. So it has access to everyone. So I can show this tech note. So if we look here at this tech note, then this is about this mainly how to conversion and import to older versions. And this is something I did not know you could do, and I want to learn more about how exactly this particular thing works. But so yeah, here are the same instructions that we're talking about, and the older ones and the newer ones. And what they are recommending is to export it into an LK5 file, and then we're going to use Notepad+. And we are going to use this because this is going to let us paste this thing in and then paste this thing in, and it's magically going to do it. So I'm going to go over here, and we are going to, we're going to undo that because it did not work. And now we're going to go to our version 36 program. And in fact, I'm just going to right click No, I'm going to control A because we're doing a section. Let's say we wanted to paste a section. I'm going to right click and I'm going to export these rungs. And we're going to just stick these, where we're going to stick these at. We're going to stick these in our test files and export. And now we're going to open up Notepad++. Now, this is not the Windows Notepad that you get, but this is a notepad that you can download, and this is really cool. I've seen this before, but I never really saw a reason for it until now. And so we're going to go to the Open, and we are going to go down, and we are going to try to remember what that file was named. I believe it started with rung. There we go, rung 033 from main routine. And we're going to click open. And this is the LK5 file that we can use to import rungs and everything. And I'm going to go to search, and then I'm going to hit replace. And then we are going to grab this text right here, what we want to find. And I've got to learn what this is because this is insanely cool. And I'm simply going to copy it. I'm going to go over here to Notepad++. Actually, I already have it in here, but just to show how we would do that. In fact, this is how it will be by default because this is an important step. And I'm just going to paste that in the find what. And then I am going to go back to that tech note. And we are going to copy what we want to replace it with. And I'm going to go to Notepad++ and we're going to paste that. And then most important piece of this, because I missed it the first time around, is the search mode. And so you need to make it a regular expression because by default, it is going to be normal. So I'm just going to hit it with the normal so you can see that when I hit replace all, it says 0 occurrences were replaced in the entire file. And what you got to do is hit this regular expression. And now watch this when I hit the replace all. I have 16 occurrences. So now I'm going to save this file and we'll go right back over here to Studio. And now my version 32, I'm going to right click the end of this rung or the routine that's from 36 and we're going to import rungs. And now we have that rung 0 through 3. And I click OK. And that pastes them in just fine. So that is really, really cool to be able to backwards paste those. Now, let me catch up over here on the chat because, let's see, James Fuller, I use the insert key on my keyboard. It brings up dialog box. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I love that. Let me go back over to 36 because, let me see if I can even. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take some getting used to on this part. So yeah, and I have the wrong keyboard set up right now, so I'm not going to use the insert key. But yeah, we can right click and where is it? Add ladder element. There we go. And yeah, and they will still be grouped, but yeah, it's going to take some time to get used to mainly this one right here. But yeah, this is the EQU instruction. Yeah, that's the not equal to, but at least it does give you the text beside of it that way. So we probably could figure it out from there. But yeah, those 3 letters, yeah, we're going to have to get used to them a little bit. Let's see, Bryson, Notepad++ is the first app I install on a new machine. Well, man, tell me what all you use it for, because, honestly, I had seen it, but I know almost nothing about this app, but I don't know what exactly is going on here. I kind of read it, but really, Rockwell has pasted all the instructions in here and their new solutions. And, what's that do? Oh, look at there. And you could swap the find and replace. So there you go. If we needed to easily convert the other way, well, no, all right, I need to learn what the world's in this before I can do it. Let's see, James Fuller. I never knew you could use regex in Notepad++ search and place. That's really cool. All right, so I don't know what regex is, but I assume that is what all this stuff right here is, is what I'm guessing you were saying. So let's see, and then Casey, Notepad++ has tons of plugins. How come I have never heard of Notepad++ and now you guys are all telling me about it? Where have you been? So apparently I need to learn about Notepad++, but really I wanted to hop on and really talk about this change that is happening. I usually don't get really big into the latest and greatest, but this is an important change. We're going to run into it now. Oh, let's talk about one other thing though, because I got thinking about this. Is it does ring up an issue with connected components workbench. So if we go back over here and let's see, I am in which one am I in now? I want to be in the 32 one. And we're just going to go back to our original code. One really cool feature that they've given us is we can copy rungs from Studio 5000 and we can paste them into Connected Components Workbench. And yeah, of course, I knew we did create my source and destination, but it all works perfectly. Now, the issue comes in when we do this from version 36. So I'm going to hit the undo button on that. And then we're going to go over to version 36. And I'm going to control A those rungs and we're going to copy them. And when we paste them into, oops, let me get back over. And when we paste those in, it knows the limit instruction, knows the NOP, but here you go. It doesn't know what an EQ instruction is. It doesn't know what a move instruction is. So there's a little bit of issue, mainly with this Logix theme. I don't know what Rockwell will do, whether they will massage it or whether they'll leave it like it is. But actually, well, but the thing is, their default theme. All right, let's try something. We're going to undo that. Their default theme is IEC 611. Now, I wonder if I just switch to it, and now we paste them in. Okay, it still doesn't know what they are. So there is some problems here with some of these, but yeah, we'll wait and see there. But know that you can't paste from Connected Components from Studio 5036 to that. But all right. I believe that's all I have. I really just wanted to hop on here and talk about that. If anybody's got any questions on the chat, we can talk for a few minutes. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be hopefully a happy Friday and y'all have an awesome weekend. Wait, there was one other thing. Hold on. Let me go back there now that I'm remembering. Where was it? Oh no, we did do the AOI. And yeah, just so y'all see, yeah, that's right, because that was the one thing was AOI. Let me just drag it in though so you can see, because the one thing that I think a lot of us were worried about, source protection not available. It still seemed to import just fine. And so, yeah, that should be good. All right, and final ones. Yeah, Bryson, good to see you. Glad you're here. And yeah, red X is short for regular expression. These acronyms kill me every time. He's a guy Rockwell. That's the gobbledygook. I can understand what gobbledygook is. I can't understand what red jacket is. Okay, so that's really cool. I need to learn a lot about it because we can do some really cool stuff. Everybody have a great weekend.